Notre Dame track and field team received letters of intent from 9 talented athletes, including 8 men's distance runners, filling an important need for the team. Friday, the track and field teams from Bethel, DePaul, Detroit Mercy, Marquette, Notre Dame, and Valparaiso will all meet at the Loftus Center as the indoor track and field season gets underway for Notre Dame. With all this going on, we thought it was the perfect time to visit once again with Notre Dame head track and field coach Alan Turner.
Coach, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Jack. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Great to have you on. Before we turn to the imminent track and field season, let's look back for a second on a very successful cross-country season, especially on the women's side. Mm-hmm. So we haven't gotten a chance to talk about it since it occurred, so give us your perspective on the national championship meet down in Terre Haute.
You know, any time you even make it as a team to nationals is a big deal. Only 31 teams in the country actually qualify for it. Individually, we knew we was going to have someone in the top 5 in Anna Rohr. We really thought she had a shot to win it. She just came up short by about a second and a half there. Team-wise, we finished 11th. That's a slight disappointment. We were 8th last year. I was thinking this year, if everything worked out, we could be anywhere between 6th and 12th. So obviously we ended up on the short end, finishing 11th and not being in the top 10. Our number 4 and 5 runners were a little bit off the pace, but our top 3 were very well. And Anna finishing 3rd, then we had Annie Heffernan and Danny Aragon. Those 3 ran very, very well for us, and they're going to run very well for us this indoor and outdoor season.
Well, and as we build off that success and head into the indoor season, you're getting back an athlete that contributed a lot last year to the program, sort of a standard setter in Molly Seidel.
Yeah, that's putting it pretty mild. She, she was the national indoor athlete of the year last year, winning 2 NCAA titles indoor track, the 3,000 and 5,000, and she's number 4 all time in the 5,000. So having someone back like Molly is huge. She automatically puts us in position to again be a top 10 team in the country, and Anna Rohr is going to, build off of and feed off of Molly's success just like she did last year. But now she's got a lot more experience under her belt, and so is Annie Effernan. So distance-wise, we're pretty loaded. We probably are going to bring as many points and score as many points as the Nationals and any other team in the country as far as the distance events goes at indoors.
Wow.
How much does somebody like Molly run outside of practice? I feel like I'm going to get food or go sit on the couch and I see her running around town. How much do they actually run outside?
You really do see her running
She's
around
running
town.
all the time.
Yes. She last year was running 100 miles a week. And to put that in perspective, a lot of our male distance runners, it takes them up to probably their junior year to do that many miles a week.
Yeah.
We actually had to hold her back. You probably think like, well, the more you do, the better you are. But it comes a point, and she kind of went over that threshold a little bit last year, and that is why she ended up getting hurt and then get to run the outdoor season. But she does 100 miles a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many of your girls switch from or continue on from cross country into track and field? Do a lot of them?
The entire team does.
Okay.
Now,
do they just do different events?
Yeah, the cross country is just a hodgepodge of everything.
Yeah.
People whose specialty is 10,000 meters. And we had a young girl on the team, Jessica Harris. Her specialty is just 800 meters, but she also has the range, and she can run to 6 kilometers, which is contested in the NCAA championship. So it's just getting the best combination of those distance runners who are tough and gritty.
Oh.
Well, we know you're going to have real strength in the women's distances. What else are you looking to contribute during the track and field season?
Well,
what other areas?
again, our sprints area is going to be pretty good. We lost 2 first-team All-Americans, Margaret Bambouje, who competed this summer at the Rio Olympics. She made the semifinals in the 400. She represented Nigeria. We also lose Kayla Barber. She was ACC champion in both the hurdle events, and she was All-American in 400 hurdles. She participated in the U.S. Olympic trial. So it's really hard to replace those All-Americans, but I have a pretty strong class of juniors, and they were All-Americans on our 4x4. Parker English is going to lead that group, and Peyton Miller and Jordan Shedd, they were all All-Americans on a 4x4. So I'm expecting a lot out of those this year.
And on the guys' side?
We're a little thin on the guys' side.
James may have some eligibility.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I can go over 40 yards.
The big contributor on our team is going to be Nate Richards. He was AC pole vault champ, and he was a first-team All-American for us indoor last year. We're expecting him to, hit some big heights and become All-American again this year. Anthony Shivers in the shot and weight throw. He was an All-ACC thrower for us. We look for him to win some ACC titles for us and getting to the nationals as well.
That's great. And as Jack said in the introduction, you sort of loaded up on male runners in the recruiting class, right?
Yeah, we've just been really thin in that area and hit the injury bug. Chris Marco and Jacob Dunford are our leaders in that area. Dunford's one of our top milers. He's been second team All ACC, and he's had a pretty good fall. He's not really a cross country runner, so that longer stuff is going to help him as he pares down and runs the shorter distance in the mile this indoor season. So we've got a lot of young guys out there, and we're still trying to work out who's going to be, if it was a team sport, who's going to be your starters and your top backup. So we're still weeding our way through that right now with those guys in the mid-distance area.
Yeah, speaking a little bit about recruiting, I know every sport has their own, age range that they really start. What's the recruiting process like for track?
Track is it's probably one of the latter ones of all the sports. You hear about, hockey and lacrosse and soccer and these other teams recruiting people when they're in 8th and 9th grade.
Yeah.
There is really a correlation if someone's running fast when they're 14 and 15, if they're going to be running fast when you get them in their 19 through 22.
Yeah.
So we really start looking at people at the end of their sophomore year and junior year.
Okay.
This year we'll host the ACC Indoor Championships. I presume that's a good thing for you. What's involved? What sort of extra work does it cause for you to host it?
Luckily, the ACC handles a lot of that. We don't have to do a lot of work, so hats off to ACC. I've been in other conferences before. If you're hosting the meet, you got to do a lot of work. So, and try to prepare your team. So, but the ACC does a lot of that stuff, and they've been playing this for over a year. Now, having the meet at home is a big deal. It's said having that home track advantage gives you an automatic 10-point edge. And I don't know if everyone's familiar with track. It's a scoring system. If you win, you get 10. Second place, you get 8th, and so forth. And you tally up the points after all events, and whoever has the most points wins. And our track is a little unique. It's 320 meters. It's the only track of its kind in the country.
I was going to say, I thought most indoors. We're one of the only schools with that long of a
Yeah,
indoor,
we actually have the biggest indoor track on any college campus in America. So my athletes are used to practicing there, used to competing there, so we're going to have a little bit of advantage.
That's awesome.
Get to sleep in their own beds, too.
That's awesome.
That is always an advantage.
Being right here, no traveling.
Yeah.
How much are you guys traveling throughout your seasons now?
We don't do a lot indoors since we have that great facility in Loftus now. Outdoors, we're having a new stadium being built, so we haven't hosted any outdoor meets. So we do a lot of traveling. The early part of the outdoor season, we have to chase the weather. As you guys know, it's pretty brutal up here
they face
at the end of
as
March
well.
and in the early few weeks of April. So we're in California, we're in Texas, we're in Georgia, trying to chase the weather early part of the
There
season.
you go.
Just wondering, do you guys charter?
No.
Okay.
Really.
I was just wondering. There's two teams that travel. We both play outside, so I was just wondering if we have that.
Rachel's not going to let this go this
Yeah,
year. Is she?
seriously.
I'm going
That's
to
her
get
main-
the
that's her
charter.
key
I'm going
point
to get
right
the
there.
charter question every time from her.
I just would like a few more this year. That's it.
I can tell that. Now, when you go to those meets, though, it's different. It's mixing and matching of different athletes, right? When different athletes go to different events.
That's correct. We don't always send the whole team to one particular meet. Some meets are geared towards more of the distance events, depending on the climate. You're not going to see a big distance event in Miami because it's going to be hot and humid. You're going to be in a cooler climate. But if you're a sprinter, thrower, jumper, you want it hot.
Yeah.
So that's why we chase the weather in early part of the season.
How does training change leading up to the events? Does it slow down a little bit, or do you kick it up?
There's a process of periodization where we pick the athletes for the championship events. So like right now, our cross country team, they're going to take it easy for the next few months. A lot of my distance runners won't start running until the end of January, the first week of February. But the jumpers, sprinters, and throwers, we're going to get after this Friday and keep it going. So
There you go.
Well, James is trying to get his 40 speed down for the combine,
Yeah.
so
I might come out for a little coaching. if you don't
we'll
mind.
send him over to you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you,
Great luck this year.
thank you.
We'll be back in a minute.
to go out there and to be able to lace up and play the game that I love was something that I've always dreamed about.
It's a blessing. I just get goosebumps sometimes. You look up and you just see, thousands of people in the stand cheering you on.
Playing for my brothers, man. It's time to show it now. Everybody's looking.